The World Health Organization has brought good distribution practice into the picture in 2006 when they published their first technical report on GDP. And in the introduction to this report, it is stated that the quality of a pharmaceutical product can be affected by a lack of adequate controls over the numerous activities which occur during the transportation process. 4 years later, this technical report was updated and the WHO actually went one step further and mentioned in the introduction to that new document that the risks which are encountered in transportation are very similar to the risks which you encounter in the manufacturing process of pharmaceutical products. So therefore, compliance with GDP rules is paramount, not only for commercial product but also for investigational product, in particular if you wish to achieve market realization and the corresponding marketing authorization. Verifying the suitability, legality and competence of a logistics service provider is actually the responsibility of the license holder. This is the same under European regulations as well as US regulations. So how can I assess the suitability, or how can I assess whether a logistics service provider is GDP compliant or not? Essentially, these are 3 steps which have to be taken. First of all, ask for a robust quality management system. Secondly, investigate the effectiveness of the training system. And thirdly, look for qualified equipment such as thermal container systems and calibrated monitoring devices, for example, temperature monitors or the like. All of this is quite complex to assess. Usually it means that an on-site audit has to be conducted, so the availability of a GDP certificate makes this much easier. The benefit for World Courier to be GDP certified are various. We have 3 main areas here. The first one is that in the certification and recertification process as such, we will need to constantly work with the implementation and review of GDP requirements. Secondly, we have a fresh perspective from the outside. The auditor is bringing in new ideas and new ways to implement GDP requirements in World Courier. And lastly, there is this assurance that we will be ahead of regulatory change and regulatory requirements. The benefit for our clients is that it is much easier to verify the competence of the logistics service provider if a GDP certificate is available. So it is much easier to achieve a certain peace of mind knowing that relevant GDP principles are implemented and constantly updated. But the real advantage is that the certification will mean that there is a common standard, GDP standard, which is being applied across the network, so that I know when I look at this certification, this standard is valid in London, but it's also valid in Sydney or in any other office of the network. GDP compliance is only one aspect of a modern quality management system. Nowadays, it is expected that a life cycle approach is adopted. This is described in ICHQ 10 and would include elements like management review processes, ISO certification, continuous improvement processes, and global SOP framework. So this is the first big area, of course, which we have covered. The second one is our training system. We are permanently developing our training system and are now rolling out the academy concept in our network, which will enable us to conduct trainings in the classroom, set up in our offices. The third element is that we are constantly investing in new technologies and developing solutions for our clients, such as the Cocoon system, which is a state-of-the-art thermocontainer system for temperature-controlled shipments. So these three elements, a life cycle approach when looking at quality management system, the training system, and new technologies are the three key elements which we offer to our clients to ensure that we can have GDP compliant services and beyond.